Nicky and/or Alex is a pretty good episode of Full House. This is the 11th episode of the 5th season. It's directed by Zwick, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. And we have two parts to the narrative. I'll talk very briefly about the part with Danny first of all, and then I'll get in with the main narrative. Because Becky is on maternity leave, Danny gets a new co-host, and this is Vicky Larson, played by Gail Edwards. And Danny, I don't think he meant to be condescending, but he asked her if she'd ever done a talk show, and she said no. So he kind of talked to her like she didn't know what she was doing. But let's be fair, they're not going to hire somebody who doesn't know anything about what they're doing. And it turns out actually she's an Emmy winner for detective work on an evening news show, and she's definitely good at her job. Joey is a guest on the show, which was a good way to bring Joey into the story. He's there, of course, as Ranger Joe, and Vicky asks him a question about violence in cartoons, and he provides a really great answer, and I found it to be a really interesting discussion. So definitely not a bad part of the episode. The main narrative focuses on the fact that the twins have come home for the first time, Nicky and Alex, and Becky is having some mood swings, and Jessie bonding with the babies is absolutely adorable. We don't get to see too much of Becky bonding with the babies at this point, but we do with Jessie, which is really lovely to see. And Jessie doesn't want the babies to wear some booties. Let's face it, their feet are going to get cold, so even if he doesn't want them to wear the booties, it's tough. However, Becky puts the booties on the babies. The booties are two different colours, and she takes off their hospital tags. And she can tell the twins apart because of the colour of their booties. Jessie doesn't know this. He takes the booties off, and now he doesn't know which baby is which. And because of Becky's mood swings, he doesn't want to tell her. So he spends the episode trying to work out which baby is Nicky and which baby is Alex. And he has some creative ways of trying to figure this out. First of all, he tries to do eeny meeny, which is never a great way. He then tries to see which one will burp, because one of them burps and one of them likes Elvis. And what he ultimately does is, with the help of the girls, he uses their detective kit and he puts ink on the bottom of one baby's foot, because when they were in the hospital, they got their footprints done. And honestly, I didn't think that would work. I really didn't think that would be effective. I don't know if in real life that would be very effective, but Jessie was able to ultimately tell which baby was which because of the footprints. So I guess for Jessie, all's well that ends well, and they now know which baby is which. And I think that that's a really interesting concept for a narrative, because I don't have twins. I don't know any twins. I had two sets of twins at school when I was in primary school. There were two sets of twins in my class, but beyond that, I don't think I actually know any twins. And I can't imagine what it would be like to have twins that you've named, and then you might have to change their names because you don't know which twin is which. And it's not something I've ever really thought about as being a big deal, but clearly it is, and it's definitely, it made me think, put it that way. So as a narrative, I found it to be quite fascinating. Jessie was very panicked, and the biggest takeaway for me is how Becky responded. Becky was very calm, and she just told him, if you have a problem with the twins, you need to tell me so we can figure it out together. And I think that that's a really brilliant message and a really solid takeaway for the episode. It's a sweet episode as well. It's a nice way to introduce Alex and Nicky. And my favourite baby moment, I'm not somebody who finds babies very cute. They're fine. There are occasionally cute pictures of babies, but I'm not somebody who will look at a baby and instantly think they're cute. But the moment where now, I can't remember which one it is, Nicky or Alex. It's whichever one is on the left. He's, towards the end of the episode, he's sucking his thumb, and it's just the cutest thing ever. He is absolutely adorable in that moment. So a really good episode, a nice way to introduce Nicky and Alex to the household. I imagine it's dealing with some of the anxieties parents of twins might face, but ultimately, that aside, it helps to show the importance of communicating for parents, because you're in it as a team, and if there's a problem, it's going to be much better to work it out together rather than trying to use eeny, meeny, miny, mo to solve your problems. All things considered, while it's never going to be an all-time favourite episode, I'd still say Nicky and/or Alexander is a really good episode of Full House.